Hello, hello. It's day 37 of 100 days of code. And with me today is the guest that keeps on giving. It's Leon Andersen. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. I'm doing great. So I had a long day of work. I'm uh, in a good mood. And yeah, today not completely finished, but worked through a big part of the terminal section in the course, which is not the biggest section and not the hard section. So, but I'm happy that I'm making steps every day. I installed the Windows terminal that CodeSteel recommends. I'm going to switch over to Mac soon, but for now I have most of my workflows on the and I'm migrating in a in a custom speed. And yeah, I'm curious what the differences will be in the Mac terminal, because I heard that the Mac terminal was better than the Windows terminal. And yeah, I learned a list and with S and how to find how to print the working directory, PWD, to know where I'm at of the terminal. Basically, what I learned is that the terminal is a bit like the Explorer in Windows, like the File Explorer, but it also has yeah, lower level commands inside, and I guess actually open. For example, if you're encountering a file, maybe a JPEG, you probably can't open it inside of the editor. You probably open it in a different program. So it's not exactly like, the File Explorer is it opens images in other programs, but it has previews, and I guess the terminal doesn't have preview because it's all text. I'm starting to feel more and more like a hacker now that I'm using this. And to change directories with cd and with cd dot dot and with yeah, relative and absolute paths. So basically that you can relative paths in the File Explorer is more like going a folder upwards or downwards. Downwards is always, you always have to click something specific, but upwards is always relative. But yeah, and absolute paths are like specific file directories. So dash folder dash slash folder slash file, basically. And you can also, like with absolute paths, you can, with this, you can access any, if you file, then you can access it from any other point where you're current, from any other working directory you're in at the moment. And if you and with absolute paths, you can, with relative paths, you can only move relative to the current working directory. But it also can be combined. So, for example, if you know that there's a file that is in a folder that is 2 levels before your current working directory. You can do like /point or dot dot // file, and then you basically combined like the relative, and then at the end you have a specific file you're going to. And yeah, I've tried some of those situations in my terminal already, and not everything is working, but most of it. And I have to get some more experience with how exact I have to be with the syntax, because I think at one point I didn't use an uppercase case. I used you didn't use the actual uppercase, and it didn't work. I don't know. I have to get more experience, and yeah, and making directories. MK dir. That's basically where I'm at with that. Next thing will be man pages and flags, the touch command, and removing files and folders. We'll see. And there were some other moments today where I spent with code. I also visited the tech department of my company and had some beginner tech talk with some of the coders there, and they said I shouldn't start learning programming with JavaScript, and there were some arguments that made sense, but I think it definitely makes sense to, as far as I'm understanding it so far, it definitely makes sense to learn JavaScript before any of the lower level languages, because it can do it's a bit more directly, it's closer to the end user, so this way you can generate income first, and then you can get more detailed and learn more deeper stuff, basically as an optional hobby, or if you want to, yeah, if you need that for some more advanced projects. But I think there's so much that's possible with JavaScript that just not needed at the beginning to learn lower level and the whole discussion on that. I don't know how much we need to repeat now. I guess I prefer keeping it a bit shorter today to get some sleep in. Yeah, also had a discussion with that with my friends, with my coder friends, because I told them about my discussion with the coder And yeah, it's fun to talk about code. And then I also watched a video on JavaScript, on weird behavior of JavaScript um, that Alice sent me, the one and only, not the one and only, but one of the geniuses of 10x Dev. And yeah, exactly. That's what's on the screen. I watched that, and I think I also read some of the comments. There was some stuff about the like imprecise that is of JavaScript after a certain decimal after the comma, and that has to do with lower level boundaries, with lower level the boundaries of the machines. I mean, I would have some questions about that. Why can is it possible for a calculator to do more or less decimals than that? I have no idea. Is that a useful comparison or a useful analogy? But anyway, so a lot of the I was a bit like I by understand everything that was in the video, but I was surprised that I could follow the basic gist, and yeah, I think not everything of it seemed weird to me. Some stuff I was okay. I found it a bit, yeah. I can relate why people would be calling that weird behavior, but a lot of it didn't seem to me. I don't know, but I guess I don't know. I don't have much references, not enough references to truly judge that. And what I realized is because the host or the host, yeah, maybe the host of the talk, the guy who did the presentation, he said that he's going to present some of the most ugly code possible, and I realized that I don't really have an idea what makes code ugly and what makes code beautiful so far. I'm curious what that's going to be. And yeah, I learned part of the discussion about languages as well was type, something like that's how it's called. Yeah, type safety. And I'm going to learn a bit on that as well sometime, but yes, exactly the article that you sent me, and but another topic for now, I feel, or for at least for the very soon time, I feel like it's something for the midterm probably, and yeah, interesting to immerse myself into those contents. That was my day.
Awesome. I think that sounds like a very good day. Yeah, it's nice that your first little contact with TypeScript will definitely be a thing. So a big thing that will follow you around because TypeScript is so big right now and so many people really swear on it. Um, and yeah, it's just important that you want to learn the trade-offs with TypeScript, and then you can make your own decision later. Like, do you like JavaScript more or do you like TypeScript more? But in any case, no matter what you do, it's always best to start with learning JavaScript, just because TypeScript has, like, even though it's just JavaScript with types, there's a lot of stuff that you need to learn, and TypeScript is super edge casey. So from my experience, it takes people about 30% of the time that it took them to become very comfortable with JavaScript to become very comfortable with TypeScript too, to the point where they feel like, okay, I've actually quote unquote mastered the language and can handle most cases because, yeah, there's just so much educated stuff with TypeScript. Yeah, sounds like a great day. You stick to the habit, you got a little bit better, your knowledge is compounding, and you're just growing as a developer.
Yes. Is TypeScript part of the course? No, right?
Let's check it out. So, Udemy, Cold Steel, Bootcamp, find it out. Look, developer bootcamp, here it is. I don't know, does he teach it? Uh, show more section, JavaScript, prototypes, Mongoose, Yelp, React, Intermediate, Material, the end. Doesn't seem like it, no. Legacy content, maybe. The fuzzy search for TypeScript. There's one mention somewhere. Just in, I think, different courses, maybe.
Okay.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
It disappeared, not from what fuzzy search.
pardon?
There, it looks like he's not showing it in that course, but no worries, you're going to encounter it soon enough.
I mean, I only care what you want to what you think. I don't like if you, but I'm happy
Yeah,
to look
I
into it.
definitely think you should try it out at some point and just make your own judgment on it, combined with the knowledge that you're going to get from the TypeScript tags article, because it's definitely important for you to know. Just if you ever want to get a job in programming, it's probably something that you need to know if you want to have a job in as a front end or full stack developer.
Got it.
So whether you want to use it for your private projects or not, you definitely need to know the basics of TypeScript.
Got it. Well, to me, it seems like the arguments that I've heard for TypeScript is like uh, it has more safety rails to not make to not write buggy code or to not get confused. And to me, it's like, well, maybe what if I can just learn JavaScript so well instead that I don't need this how do you say um, like the things that you have on the bike at the side, the wheels, the training wheels. Uh, to me, at least that's how I'm interpreting it at the moment. Maybe if you learn JavaScript well enough, you don't need TypeScript. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a good discussion to have once you've read the TypeScript text, but the TLDR is just like basically there are different measurements that you can take that make your code less buggy. And if you quantify, for example, test-driven development, it reduces production bugs by about 40 to 80%. If you take code review, that has also been proven from studies that it reduces your bugs by about 80%. And then if you look at TypeScript or type languages in general, if you're very generous and give them the maximum value, it reduces production bugs by 20%. And then you look at, okay, what is the time investment that I need to put in for all of these different measures? And Usually these two, like code review, everyone does, and it's about, let's say, one x, just whatever, right? We're just thinking about arbitrary multiples. TypeScript is also about 1x, and TDD is a little bit more, especially when you start out with it takes a little bit more work. So let's say it takes twice as long. But if you stack, like let's say you start out with $1,000 and now you do TDD, now you will only be left with 200, with $20 because you, with 1,000, 80%,
200.
200 bucks. So now you also do code review. And now from those $200, you again reduce 80% of the bucks. So you will be left with $40. So if you now put in TypeScript, now you will only, from those 30%, you will only get 20% less bucks. So that would be $8 less. So you're still left with $32. So to not do $8, do you really want to put in something that takes 1x the work if the other two measurements, like it just doesn't make sense in terms of the workload. So to reduce because if you just to take these two, you have a workload of 3 to get down to $40 basically. And if you then put your workload to 4, you only get 8 less bucks for basically, depending on how you look at it, either 25%, or if you look at it top down, 33% more work. And that is basic argument behind this article TypeScript text. But obviously Eric proves all of this with studies, shows graphs, and yeah, just has a much more comprehensive argument. But this is the basic calculation
Okay.
why there's a tax to TypeScript, and it's not a benefit. It's just taking away from what you already earned, kind of.
Got it. So the percentages don't compound really. They just um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it
So
all
they
depends. So it all depends on your existing quality measurements in your team. If your team does not do code review and test-driven development, then TypeScript will save you $200. So like
okay.
from 1,000 potential bucks in production, that's obviously a big deal, right? But if people are like, oh no, I don't do TDD, because to be honest, no one really skips code review. Or like whoever skips code review, please run away from them. But like the people that skip TDD, if they only do code review and then TypeScript, we can also do the quick back of the envelope calculation. So let's say they do code review, right, and reduce their bugs by 80%. That would be 200 billion. And then now they do TypeScript and they save 20% of 200 bucks. That will save them at least 40 more bucks. So they will end up with 160. So maybe you could say, is it worth it? Or, but it's truly, really only worth it if you're like, hey, I don't want to do code review and I don't want to do TDD, just because these save you that much more bucks. And then also, like, what's not even calculated in this is that if you do TDD, you often guard against all the different types. So like you then also have to look at, okay, what class of bugs are being caught, and TypeScript catches. TypeScript, typing a language catches by definition typing bugs. But TDD can also prevent typing bugs. So technically this compounding, if you do TDD, gets even worse because a bunch of these bugs that TypeScript can catch are already caught by TDD. But because types can only catch typing bugs and not behavioral bugs, TypeScript can never catch bugs that TDD can catch because TDD can catch behavioral bugs.
Nice. I guess I'm going to send my coworkers send them the article.
Well, you can definitely do that, but make sure you've read it first, and then we've answered all your questions
Yeah.
around the article. So in case
Yes.
an argument emerges, that you're prepared to handle all of the different arguments.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
Great. I think then we're done here, right? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, that today I'm so maybe just a little side topic that relates very much to coding, which is typing speed. I was stuck at around 30 words per minute for very long, and I didn't manage to get better. Like it didn't make yeah. I felt like I was stuck in a state where I didn't need to look at the keyboard at all, but I would always write so fast, so many mistakes that I had to basically delete every second word, or maybe sometimes every word, and rewrite them. I made so many mistakes in between, and at least for me, because I'm now starting to starting with a QWERTY keyboard instead of the QWERTZ that I had before. At least for me, because I'm doing it now, and because I want to be able to code faster and to code along and all the stuff, workflow that comes with that, and be able to Vim better, because I'm faster in general, and then I have capacity to learn more working memory in the moment of coding to use for learning for deepening Vim, because I'm doing that. I've been going back into Typing Club, which I would say is the best program by far that I've been doing. I've done Keeper, which was fine. I've done Tip 10, it's a one. But Typing Club has like multiple amounts of those of lessons, and in a way better structured way, better structure as far as I'm experiencing it. The games, I don't care. I don't really like the games, but I like all the lessons. I also, when I was frustrated while being back at learning it consciously, I had a YouTube research rampage where I looked at a lot of videos of people describing their journey of their typing skills from zero or whatever. And one thing that was mentioned that I didn't really very consciously at first was that someone said that he started training individual words that were very hard for him, that blocked his flow basically when he would write a sentence where most words he do, but then in between there are words that he's bad with, and at first I didn't think much of it, but for some reason I started doing that as well at some point, and I feel like that made so far the big. I would see, because I'm not that much faster, but I noticed I noticed a noticeable difference, and it's also really fun to train individual words. I mean, you already saw I think it was day 30 maybe, where I built my word master app. And it's a lot of fun it's a bit like training individual melodies on the guitar or on the piano over and over. I don't know, I like this and it works. And yeah, so if anyone is stuck at that, or is stuck with 30 words per minute, I can recommend to try that out. And sometime in the future, I will release the full featured webmaster app, so you can use it as well. But yeah, that's something that I would have wanted to hear maybe a year ago or something, when I had my other typing phases.
Nice, yeah. Thank you for sharing that wisdom. So anyone who's maybe also switching keyboards or something can definitely learn from that.
Yes, switching keyboards and in general just increasing typing speed, because that was something that I was afraid of, that learning to code requires to type faster, definitely faster than 30 words per minute. So probably not 150 words, but definitely faster than where I'm at now. And yeah, so to me now, knowing that, or making the experience that I can get better in that, is a very relieving feeling. Yes.
Awesome. Nice. I think those are nice closing words for our stream today. If you are on your coding journey, just keep in mind you want to code every day a little bit, even if it's just 10 minutes, as we always preach here. And if you code longer, that's obviously better. If you need study buddies, check out the stream daily. If you're watching the recording, join us live. But we hope also that you enjoyed these recordings. Thank you for tuning in. This has been day 37 of 100 days of code of the code call with
Mentor.
Alice Mill from 10x Dev. Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye. And